Yo, 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 my Star Citizens and Noob Gamers. Welcome back to another episode of Star Citizen with me, Menix. And in today's episode, it's going to be, maybe a quick one, but it's just going to be me going through some of my keys for the controller. So let's do this. Let's have a quick look. So let's go over to key bindings. Controllers, I'm just going to leave as it is. Now, I do change my sensitivities on my gamepad here. So like say my thumbstick sensitivities, I have changed them on the turrets. So when you're on turrets, I've put them all at 3, just because it makes it a little easier when you're on the turrets, aiming weapons and stuff like that. So it's up to you basically what you look at, and bringing my gamepad sensitivity down a little bit. EVA, you can change some of that if it becomes too much, but mainly the turrets. So that's that. Let's get over to key bindings and let's look at the gamepad and just have a look what stuff we've got going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this controller profile once it's done. I'm going to save it in here and I'll call it Tony's, or I'll call it Noobs 3.23 or something, or 324 or something like that, or 234 or whatever we're on. Whatever we're on. So let's have a look. So I'm going to go through all these and just make sure we've got certain things that we want. So entering the remote turrets might be a good one to do. Maybe as a key press, just so that you don't have to click the right mouse button to do it, to select it. So that might be a good one as a key press, which we'll do instead of the gamepad. I might do that as a keyboard and mouse and go back to seats and operator mode here and enter remote turret there. So I might set that one at something instead. It'll tell me if something's taken, so I'm just going to put something like Shift and R or something. So vehicles, targeting, sub-targeting, reset to main target. So we don't want that one. Or is that just R that's being taken? So I'll do it that, because if I'm trying to enter a turret, it's not an issue then, is it? So I'll Shift and R, I'll do that, and then I'll set that one then as a voice command later. So there we are. That one. Let's go back to gamepad and let's have a look at the next one. Cockpit, self-destruct. I always take that off, make sure that's taken off. So you got your cooler rates, flight system ready. Again, that's on my keybind, and I have that on a voice command. Open and close doors, I also have a keybind and a voice command. You'll find that I don't have a lot assigned to my pad, just basic ones like that one, unlocking the ports. And let's have a look at the multifunctional. So cycling backwards and forwards on the MFDs. So selecting the different MFDs, which will be good if you wanted to do that. So say if you had 2 MFDs, you could select the MFD 1 or something, and then 2 for the next one. If you wanted certain things on them, but I just press F and look at them. Self status, yeah, so you can set the page here as well for what page you want. But we don't need to do that because I tend to do all that beforehand. Vehicle view, I'm going to make sure I close these down. Look left, look right. Cycle camera is my left shoulder and Y. So all these lot are pretty much done. So my left trigger is to zoom in. That's what I've got for zooming in, my left trigger. So when I want to zoom into a ship, I'll hold my left trigger. My flight movement, pitch up and down on my sticks. I have took this one off, the swap yaw and roll. I've taken that one off. So I've got my strafe up and down and left and right, and my throttles. increase throttle, decrease throttle, left thumbstick, forward and backwards and straight and left and right. So cruise mode toggle, again, is on a key. I've got that on a key. Cruise mode, what did I used to have it as? Yes, I could set that one, I think. Cruise mode toggle. I might do that now, if it lets me. So what I'm setting here is, so it's the boost. I've got the, which is one of the buttons I use for boost. And that's it basically, so yes. And what I've done is left shoulder and left thumbstick, but on my gaming pad, I've got a Microsoft gaming pad, and it has two sort of triggers on the bottom of the pad underneath it. And so basically I've assigned those to be the two buttons I press, my left shoulder button and my right shoulder thumbstick. So that's switching my cruise mode on and off, which is going to be a good one for me to do. I used to have it before, but then when they brought in the new cruise mode, I couldn't assign it because there was problems with assigning buttons. Some of these I have set, as well as voice commands like set cruise mode and stuff. So you see there my boost and my left thumbstick, which I've just assigned here with another one. Speed limit increase I've set to my shoulder button and left and right trigger. Landing gear is down on my D-pad. Toggling that. I don't really use VTOL that much, but I've got a button for. I've got a keybind on the keyboard for it, and I just generally use my voice. So one thing to get with me and using the pad is I use my voice control, which is Emily voice command. That's what I use a lot, and that means that I don't have to have loads of keys and worrying about different keystrokes on my pad. So I can use my pad for the basics then. So auto land is D-pad, down on D-pad, request landing, right thumbstick. Again, I said that normally. Cycle master mode, long shoulder and B. Let me change that now. It used to be that and X. So if I double click that now, that was to cycle master modes. Yep, that's what it used to be. Holding it, basically. All these I'll take off. Right, that's that. Where was we? I think it was on movement one. So quantum travel, just engaging it is my right trigger. Flight docking, I've not got nothing set. Vehicle targeting. Now I do have here lock selected target up on the D-pad and double tapping the D-pad up. Now I have a Tobii eye tracker, so when I look at a target, it highlights that target when I look at it, and then I can press double tap up here on the D-pad to lock that target. Now what I could do is also change that target. So if I do the same for unlocking the current target, double tap. So if I set to double tap, no. So if I click it and press Y and then double tap up on the D-pad again, and then that'll lock it and then unlock it once it is locked. There we are. Enable, disabled, look ahead, padlock, auto zoom, unselected target. That's all I need, maybe. And then we'll go to, that's it, that's all we need on that. Vehicle targeting and vehicle target cycling. Cycle lock in view, double tap. cycle lock under reticle, double tap. We could maybe set them to other buttons and just put maybe target or something as a word in my Emily. So I could put them as something on the keyboard rather than the gamepad itself. Cool, don't need any of that because I use my Emily and my Toby. Radar, right shoulder button, activate ping, hold and release right shoulder button. Vehicle scanning, left shoulder button and right shoulder button to activate scanning. I can also press left on my D-pad to get into scanning mode. So left shoulder button and right shoulder button is activating it. Okay, so it's good to know that. Increase scanning angle, right trigger, decrease scanning angle, left trigger, which I do. So that does like your angle, basically. Mining, fire the mining laser, right shoulder button, switch mining laser, left shoulder button, and right shoulder button. So, fire the mining laser. Right shoulder button, yeah, I want that. Switch mining laser, right, yeah, that's cool. You can also use shift as well. Shift and right click or left click for that. So that's left click. You can do shift and left click on that as well. Increase mining laser, yep, that's cool. Don't have mining modules because I tend to not use them. Jettison cargo. Now will that jettison it all? That might be a good one to assign something to it. I'm going to have a look in a minute because I might actually put that onto my wording. So say if I've got a load of crap and then I come across Quantanium and I like want to get rid of it, all the stuff I've got, I can just get rid of the crap that I've got. So that'd be a good one to put in there. So I'll do that in, what is it, vehicle mining. So if I do back here to keyboard and mouse, back to vehicle mining, and then what have we got here? Jettison cargo is left Alt and J. So just remember that, and I'll put that as a word on my thing. Salvage. Yep. I know all of this lot. Right shoulder button for the tractor beam. Tractor beam decrease distance. Yep. Toggle fire focused. Right shoulder button. Cool. Salvage gimbal mode B. I think I did that the other day. Salvage gimbal mode reset. Relative beam spacing. I'll do these on the pad and mouse. So I don't really have much on here because it's all done by keyboard and mouse generally. I don't want to put too much onto my pad. Turret movement. Again, it's just all the pitch on the stick and the yaw on the stick. Turret mouse movement, VJoy, FPS style. I think that's set at Q on the keyboard and mouse. I think that's set to Q. So we go to turret movement. No, yeah, Q. So it makes it a little bit easier to move around. Exit turret gyro stabilization. Next remote turret, the previous remote turret. So again, we don't want them on the keyboard, on the pad itself. Everything that's on keyboard and mouse is pretty much what it was standard. So where it was with turret movement. So yeah, nothing really on that, just the basics. Turret advanced, nothing on any of that. Staggered and combined, again I've got that on S. Change turret position, speed limiter. Is that the turret speed? Decreasing the speed, or is that your speed? Not too sure. Vehicle weapons. Cycle fixed and auto gimbal. I've got a lot of this on the keyboard and mouse. Set lag pips again is set on the keyboard and mouse. toggle lead and lag pip I've got on B. So I can switch between the lead and lag pip on B by pressing B. And the reason I had that is because we used to be able to change fixed and gimbal with B, which we've done here, you can see. So now I need to take this off because we no longer have that on. We don't have fixed and gimbal now. Everything is just fixed. So I can change my lead and lag pips now like that. There's loads of here to look at. Right trigger for my fire weapon. I've got them all on one rather than groups. Vehicle missiles, right trigger when you're in it to launch the missiles, left trigger to cycle the next one, increase number up. I use these on my voice control again, and so that's that. And then my shields and countermeasures, left shoulder button and A to decoys, and left shoulder button and A for the noise. Now we could set again these shields to be where you want them. Again with voice commands, but I need to set them in the keyboard and mouse first. So flight power, nothing set here. So I don't have anything set to my pad. It's set to the keyboard and mouse. So I don't want to be messing around with flight powers on my actual pad itself. Mobi-glass, cycle, pitch ladder, and scoreboard, don't need that. Wipe helmet visor, again, don't need that. Lights, I've got set to shoulder button and down to turn my lights on, but I generally just say it because I use my voice command. Vehicle Mobi-glass, nothing on that. Stopwatch, I don't use that. Then on foot, moving left and right is all as it was. Jump A, crouch B, prone B, left thumbstick for sprint. I don't have a walk. Lean left, left shoulder button, right shoulder button, right thumbstick. Move ledge grab A. Firearm attack right trigger, attack 2 right trigger, melee left trigger, attack left light right trigger, heavy left trigger, hold heavy right, hold the right trigger, block left and right trigger. These are all the same. Inject other for the right trigger, dodge left, dodge right. These have all been set by CIG. I haven't set any of this. Because I generally use the mouse or key commands for it. So pretty much everything else ground vehicle wise is the same. I've used my right trigger for driving forward and my driving backwards, my left trigger. That's what I've changed with them, and my turning left to be these. And then my boost the left thumbstick there. And social emotes, I've added a couple of social emotes on my pads here, like salute, threaten, wave. Respawn X, exit C, left shoulder button and B. That's all done. I think that's all set. Quick keys. So the first one I've done is here is the interaction mode. I've set as Y. Active inner thought, right shoulder button. Again, I'll do it on that one. Focus left trigger. Interactive zoom in and out, left and right trigger. MDF left and right on the MFDs. There we are. Right thumbstick for exit. And then your weapon select style here And then we've got advanced camera controls. I haven't touched anything in that left shoulder button, Wi-Fi, advanced camera holding that, but I do it all on the keyboard. So that's pretty much everything there. So the only thing I want to do now is set my power management. Now, my power management on the keyboard and mouse, I'm going to go to, so here we go, flight power. This is all for my engines off and stuff like that, but I use voice commands for these. The thing is, you need to know these for the voice commands. Right, so let me go through here now. So engine increase, F6, left Alt and F6 for decreasing. So that's good to know. So it's left Alt. So engines, set to min. Engines set to max. Is the one there for turning these off? Yeah. So turning the guns off and turning the shields off are two that we're going to need to know. So if I'm turning off the shields on O and the guns off or weapons off with P, and the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to do that voice command wise, because then I can then increase to max things like engines. So if I want to put the engines to full, I can just hold F6. So that's what I need to do. And then if I want to turn my weapons to full, then I'll set one for that. And then if I want to turn my weapons, so when I switch to other game or other, like, so from nav to SCM, then I need to know them. So F8 is to reset them. So let me do this. So I'm going to bring up my Emily, and I'm going to include this and my Emily profile in my Discord channel. You can get that in the description, and I'm also going to show you how to set this up in here as well. So here's Emily. So here's my Emily here, and so where I now have these, I'm going to have to start changing some of these. So turn engines on, I'm going to do, right, so I need another one that's going to be turn shields off and turn guns off as well. So I need to do that. So if I do this, add a new command and put turn guns off, and we can set different commands for this, so it can be the Xbox or whatever as well. And we're going to put that as miscellaneous and add. And to turn the guns off, we are going to keep hold of I. We're just going to press. I'm just looking through now. Thrusters, power, shields, P, power weapons. So it's going to be a key command and it's going to be P. And that's going to turn the guns off. And we add that there. And we're then going to have to create another one of those. So turn guns off, and then command going to be turn guns on. Again, add that as miscellaneous, key press, and it's going to be P, and add that. So I'll be able to use them now. Guns on, guns off, and I want to do the same for the shields as well. So I'll add another turn shields off. Spelled that wrong. Have I? It's IE. I never know. And again, miscellaneous, add, and it's going to be key press, and the shields are O, I think, yeah. So O, and add that, and then we're going to add another one to turn shields on. And this, what I'm entering here, is what I'm actually going to set into Emily, and I'm going to add that, and it's going to be a key command, and it's going to be O. Cool, that's that done. And we also want to then do, so that's turning shield them on and off. And we want to set engines to max. So it's going to be holding F6. Holding F6, so holding it. Let me add the command I'm going to put. Actually, I think I've already got here. I'll use these ones. So in here, I've got power, shields, and all that stuff. So if I go power, thrusters, that's holding F6, so it's already doing that. Holding F6 and then doing everything it needs to do. Cool. And that's the same with the weapons and the same with the shields as well. So there, I think are done. I think I've got reset as well. I do have a reset power there. Yeah, F8, that's cool. So what I could now do is I need to set a new one that says maybe increase thrusters. That's going to be miscellaneous add, and that's going to be, so if I want to increase the engines, I just tap F6. So that's going to be a key, and it's just going to be F6, tap, add that. So that's increasing the thrusters, and then we want another one, which is going to be decrease thrusters, and then we're going to do them by one then, so I can play around with that power management separately. We're going to add that, and it's going to be a key, and again it's going to be F6 and Alt. So it's going to be a key combo, and it's going to be left Alt and F6, and I add that. And I want to do the same then with increase, spell that wrong, increase weapons, add key, and that's going to be engines, shields, weapons, F5. That's going to be F5, press and release a key, F5, add, then another one which is going to be decrease weapons, again that's miscellaneous key, and it's going to be key combo, left Alt and F5. I'm going to add that, and then we want another command which is going to be increase shield, miscellaneous key, and it's going to be F7, add that, and then another one which is going to be decrease shield, add that key, and it's going to be a key combo, left Alt and F7, and add that. So that's my power triangle stuff done. I'll have to do more with other stuff at some point, I think, but I'm happy with that as it is now. I will put this in the Discord server with the other one, and that's that. This plugin, not this one, but they do a site. So in this Emily, if you go into our description, we do have the link to Emily site, and there's also a code Noobs25 which gets 25% off this, which brings it to about, I think, around $10 ish, something like that. And they do their own plugin for Star Citizen if I bring that up. So they do have their own official Star Citizen plugin which needs updating, but I don't use that one. I've created my own one. So that is setting up my Emily and showing you my gamepad. Most things on the gamepad was already done, and so I didn't need to do that. And so that's it basically. that's me setting up my things and showing you what I was doing. So now my power management should be better. But now you can, going forward, you can do things yourself now, showing you how to do things and setting up things with the voice commands and stuff like that. Just making sure whatever you want to do, set it on a keyboard and mouse rather than your pad. I think once you've got your pad set up for flying, moving around and stuff like that, then you don't want to be trying to do too much with your pad. I would suggest getting something like Emily and using your voice because it's so much easier. And what I do with my Emily is I will show you. With my Emily in the settings on the pad itself, so you have this here. What I do is I set PFC, which is Emily will not listen to me. So this is if you use this one executes a command when HTC key or button is released. So what you have to do is Emily is always listening to you. So you see here there's an input, it's always listening to you. And if you have it as HTC, I'll go back to that setting there, Emily will always be listening to you. And if you want to then talk to your friends, you then have to press a button, and you set your button here. You have to press a button, and then that will stop Emily listening to you, and you can talk to people. So I have this PFC, which is push for command, and basically I have to push it to talk to Emily. And what I've done is then, as I've set this as equals on my keyboard, and by pressing that, then I've also in my Discord have my mute set to equals as well, so it mutes my Discord so people don't hear me when I'm saying commands. And then Emily's not listening to me until I press that equals, but I don't press it on equals. What I've done is I've set it to my Xbox. Once you've got your Xbox plugged in, that you'll be able to select the Xbox there, and you can then record it. And I've set a button for that so that I can just use the button for that. But you have to have your Xbox plugged in, or you can use another piece of software, which is this that I've got here. So if I've got my thing in Bluetooth mode, my pad in Bluetooth mode, you have this here, anti-micro, it's called anti-micro, and you can in here set a controller. And if you see here, my right stick click is equals on my keyboard, which is that. So when I press my back button, which I've set to, it's underneath the pad, I've set it to be my right click stick. It's actually pressing the equal sign on my keyboard, and that then is then pushing Emily to talk. So if I go back here now, you'll see when I press it, this, let me get rid of this menu. You'll see now when I press you can hear the sound as well. See, it doesn't do that normally just because I've got my Discord on as well. But basically, when I press the back button on my pad, one of the stick, the right stick, it has that on. It doesn't do it when it's selected. You have to be off it, and you see the PFC comes on here when I press it, and that means then Emily's listening to me. So if I do a command like open doors, Emily's not listening to me. If then I hold the button and say it, open doors, you see Emily's listening to me. Turn ship on. So, and you can set voices in there as well. They do have voices. I do have a video on Emily. I'll post the link in the description and up at the top of the video. But that's that, guys. That's me and how I've done my setup. The one thing I wanted to do was start setting some of those power triangles up, which I've now done, which means I can now increase them one by one, or turn off the engines and turn off the weapons and turn off the shields, which will then give me more points to increase on my thrusters when I'm doing my nav. Because when you're in the nav mode, you can't use your weapons, you can't use your shields. Unless they've changed it, but I'm sure they turn your shields off. But that then gives me, I can then turn them off and then assign those elsewhere, those points. So that's that, guys. Hopefully you get something out of it. I know some people was disappointed last time I did one of these because I didn't do much changes on the pad itself, but you can see most of the pad is set. If you just take my thing, you can take it from the Discord. I'm going to show you that now. So if I'm on my Discord, you see here, launch that game. If I'm on my Discord here and I go to There should be a thing in here, input devices here. You click this, and then on this input devices, you'll see we've got like the pads and stuff like that. So what you do is you take this, and there's like a layout here. So you download that, continue and download, and that will then give you a file which you can open here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that and drop that into your, if we go to, we've got to go to C, users, C program files, to Robert Space Industries, Star Citizen, PTU or live, users, client, 0, and then you got controls here, mappings. And what we'll do is we'll actually put that in. So this is this one here. So if I was to rename that, like just put A's on the end of it, and then we open that. Let me move that out of the way, move that out of the way. And what we do is just going to drag that and drop it in there. So we've got the A1 and the 2 there. So when we are in the game here, we go to key bindings, and then we're going to go to advanced, and then here. And so what you may not have, so we've got 2 of these here, but what you may not have, you may not see it if you're already in here. What you have to do is go back if you are already in there once you've dropped it in, and then you should be able to then go to key bindings, advanced controls, and then it should be in there basically. And that should be in there then. And that's it basically, and you just select it from there. And when you do select it, you're going to go to here, and then you're going to set keyboard, mouse. You have to have your gamepad on, or else this won't work. And then you can select any here, there, and then load that from there then. And that will be that. I am going to call this one. So hopefully you get something good out of this, guys. If you do, don't forget to take that point, stick with the like button, hit the bell and subscribe notification, and yeah, we'll see you guys out in the verse.